And I went to his story and I'm like, come on, we're going to go down to a thing. We're going to go to a park or something. And
I love how he calls his wife her historian. When I go to her story, it's his face with long hair. Hey everybody, this is Lance here. Internet Historian came out with a new video through his incognito mode channel called Hobbies. And this looks like it's featuring many kudos again. We like many kudos. And yeah, I'm really interested. I just posted a video from his other channel about the Alien game, Alien Isolation, I believe. And he actually responded to my video. And thank you, Internet Historian. I appreciate that. I just saw this pop up last night right before I went to bed. And I was like, I know what video I'm doing for the next day. Anyway, of course, I'll leave the link down for this video down below so you can check out the full length video and, of course, the channel. And check out the Internet Historian's incognito mode video archive on that channel. And yeah, let's get right into this video. I'm really excited what this is about. A lot of times they have a topic, but a lot of times they'll really stray off the topic. So let's see how far they keep on topic. It's like Tricks and Katya. They always have a topic and they really kind of go like it just turns a major left every time. So let's see if that happens here. Here we go.
This place is about to pop. Why don't you throw on some Charlie Daniels?
Good call. Nobody tells DJ Request what to play. Let them tell you what to play. They lose respect for you. They lose respect for you. You lose control. Not today. All right.
you by Waldorf tanks. Hobbies. Hobbies. What are hobbies? Is rock climbing a hobby?
It won't be a very long-term hobby, apparently, because, hello?
All this and more on In the Field. All right, so do you have any hobbies?
I do, actually. I have many.
Really?
Yeah, swindling larger YouTube channels, that's probably the biggest one, but
I love how he have a picture of a historian right there with all this money in his hand.
outside of that, I play Dungeons and Dragons every week.
Nerd.
Okay, well...
No, sorry, carry on. Sorry, I didn't realize my mic was on. Carry on.
Do you just have a big red button that you push to mute
Yeah,
when you want to
yeah.
yell slurs? Tell me about your hobbies.
The older you get, the more maintenances around the house become your hobbies. I do quite a lot of gardening.
Old green thumb, eh?
I'm not amazing at keeping the plants alive or fruiting, but
I am good at keeping them.
yeah. Once in a while, landscaping as well. Like I rent the diggers and then I smooth out the dirt and such. Otherwise, I watch a lot of YouTube.
So that's interesting because I don't.
Interesting.
I don't know if that makes me a bad YouTuber or a good one because...
I don't know if you're a YouTuber. I'm on YouTube all the time. I have HBO Max. I have Hulu. No, I don't have Hulu right now. I have Hulu usually when American Horror Story comes on. Netflix and Amazon. Amazon's a constant because I get Amazon Prime. But anyway, the other two I pay for it, but I never really watch anything. The main reason why I got them is just to do movie reactions, which I still haven't yet to do. I have a huge list of movies I want to do from both of those channels I have yet to do. Shut up. Procrastination's a bitch. But yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube. It's kind of strange for me to hear another YouTuber's never on YouTube, watches YouTube. That's kind of interesting. Let's see what Internet Historian says about this.
Oh, I've got my hand in the air. I have the answer to this 1 minute kudos.
Am I a good YouTuber or not?
Bad. I want to guess bad YouTuber. Carry on, minute kudos.
Was it the awful videos or the lack of uploads?
I'd say both, sir.
Well, Timmy, maybe one day you too can put off uploading to your YouTube channel. Something I find interesting but I'd never do is those people who go like, I don't know what you call it, like dredging or magnet fishing, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Where you see these videos on YouTube and TikTok, which are probably like faked a lot of the time, but I'm sure you find there are just so many guns.
I love that stuff. Watching people panning for gold, people like looking around with metal detectors and stuff. In fact, I was so into that stuff for a while, this is before I had a YouTube channel, that I bought a metal detector and I went to Historian. I'm like, come on, we're going to go down to a thing. We're going to go to a park or something. And
I love how he calls his wife Herstory. When I go to Herstory, it's his face with long hair. Jesus Christ.
We're going to find a creek and we're just going to like metal detect around. As soon as I had the metal detector in my hand, I was so embarrassed. I just felt embarrassed. I can't explain it.
The reality set in that you'd have to be the guy going metal detecting.
Yeah, and we went down to like this creek, and on the way there, you'd pass by people and you'd kind of like try to push the metal detector kind of behind their line of sight so they wouldn't see you. And then we got down there and boy, that metal detector was a real piece of shit. I didn't have much money at the time, so I just bought like the cheapest one. And so it only made a beeping noise when there wasn't anything.
That is the worst scenario. Because it still works, but it's now incredibly annoying.
Loud and awful, yeah.
On the other day, that historian's so mad she leaves you and you have to walk home that day.
We didn't find anything except like one bottle cap, and then like on the way back we're like, oh, there's a beach. All right, fine, I'm gonna try the beach, and couldn't find anything. We're making this really loud fucking noise. People are looking at us, and then I went, all right, I'm not finding anything here. Hold on, and I threw $2 into the sand. To see if the thing would pick it up. It not only didn't pick it up, but then I lost the $2 in the sand. I lost money. Stupid fucking hobby, and I haven't been metal detecting ever since. I would quite like to get into pigeon racing.
Okay.
I met a guy who bred and raced pigeons.
Okay.
And it is fascinating. They'll race.
Never heard of pigeon racing. I heard of raising pigeons, but not pigeon racing. That's interesting.
These things over, like 400 kilometers.
Oh, wow.
And it'll come like down to the wire.
Yeah.
It is really cool the way they breed these particular pigeons and like, oh, well, this one has particular stamina, but this one has a lot of speed.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you can keep pigeons basically the same way you keep chickens. But they just sit there and make this noise like...
That's a really good pigeon noise.
Oh, thank you. Instead of like, like a chicken does, right? And chickens are awful and they stink, but pigeons are just like... Hey, I'm purring like a cat,
I also don't like pigeons, but I will give you that they are quieter and less smelly than chickens.
Yes.
Possibly less tasty too, though. But my only issue with something like pigeon racing is because it's, I'm assuming, somewhat of a niche sport. I would feel like I'd want like cool video game stats involved. Like if I was going to be breeding these little suckers, I'd want to have like a UI where I can be like, here's this guy's speed rating out of 10.
They do that.
What the fuck?
They have these little ankle bracelet things, and then they have like a QR code on them, and then they have like these websites online that take all of their stats and track them by GPS and do all this stuff. It's like crazy.
That's like sports stats, but for birds.
And you know what? Here's how you race a pigeon, right?
You throw it really hard.
You go to the starting line, and then you let it go, and then you sit in a chair having a few drinks, and then someone's going to call you on the phone in a few hours and tell you that you won or lost. It's brilliant.
Oh, but The thought of that is really funny.
Yeah, and it's like, once you win, then you can put this pigeon out to stud like a bull. This one's the fastest. Well, now it's worth like 100 grand. Come on. And you put it in a cage with like 200 female pigeons.
And you play romantic pigeon music.
Yeah, exactly. And you know that this is just going to be the greatest moment of this pigeon's life. It's fucking hilarious.
My problem is pigeons suck, and I think something like a hawk or something seems way cooler to breed.
Hawks are pretty cool. Well, hawks are the natural enemy of the pigeon, you see.
So what you're saying is I should breed hawks and you should breed pigeons.
No.
We'll see who wins.
No, keep yours away from my... It's not fair. Ad time. World of Tanks sponsorship. Sandra, have you heard about this new free-to-play MMO with over 160 million players? The best thing about World of Tanks is not just that it's free, which it is that they're continuously pumping out new content. Like an old drainpipe in the Philippines, there's a constant flow of content into the greater ocean. Did you know you can enjoy World of Tanks on a console or on the mobile phone? All you have to do is call up this number and you tell them where you want to move. Yeah, go 5 yards forward. Fire. Did I hit him?
That's a hit.
Now, Sandra, this game is set in the post-apocalypse. All of the animals have gone extinct except for the tank. But then a world war breaks out between them.
Hey, Mohammed, I heard there's only one tank in the whole game.
That's not true, Sandra. In fact, there are lots of different classes of tank. You can be a healing tank, you can be a stealth tank, you can even be a druid tank. This is downtown London, before any sort of conflict happened. Boy, this really reminds me of a war I can't mention, Sandra. So go to the link below and use the code COMBAT. We'll give you a Cromwell B premium tank. 250,000 credits. 7 days World of Tank premium account time, plus 3 rental...
Wasn't World of Tanks one of the right next to one of the one of the sponsors that don't like to pay the creators after they said they sponsor them? Isn't World of Tanks one of them? That and Legends or whatever that other one is. I'm just saying that's literally what I heard.
Premium tanks. By the way, they sent us some promo stuff, and some of these are like ads that have Arnold Schwarzenegger in them and Mila Jokovic and Chuck Norris. I don't know why they sent me this, but it's brilliant. Look at this.
Get to the tank.
Also, they collaborate with Girls und Panzer.
Oh, I actually like that one, and same with Valkyria Chronicles. It's a good game. You know, Sandra, I heard they're adding a dating sim to World of Tanks.
Get the fuck out of here.
Summer, my barrel is all filled with ash and debris. Take this pipe cleaner and go to town.
Sandra, how come you're in that tank right now?
I don't know.
Oh, stop, you're destroying the whole set.
Oh no.
So click on the link in the description below and use code COMBAT to get a whole bunch of stuff. Look at this stuff.
Before her dad let you sit in his chair.
Ad over. I know what the worst hobby is.
What?
Candle making.
Really?
Oh, what's the fucking point? Go down to the store and buy a big candle for $1, or if you want a scented one, they're everywhere. Like, I don't understand why people are making their own candles. There's one fun part about candle making, which is that you can dip your hand in the hot wax, and then you've got like a claw thing that you can start, peeling away.
It is surprising that isn't some kind of therapeutical thing, because that seems like somewhere like, have you been to the wax dipping?
Yes. Yeah, they got those smoke pots and acupuncture and shit. Why don't they have wax dipping?
That's the perfect massage thing, because it kind of hurts, like a lot of those kind of treatments. Acupuncture, massaging. There's like a pain element to them, but there's also like a satisfaction element to them, where afterwards you feel like and then afterwards your skin would probably feel real like moisturized or something.
Yeah, because you would sweat.
Trains, on the other hand, I could see trains, because trains are like, that's a bit of a novelty. Like an old train's kind of cool to ride on.
There's this park in Melbourne, and it's got like this tiny train. And there's a little conductor dude that sits at the front, and he just gives rides like all day.
That's awesome.
I was enjoying the hell out of that, and I understood it all of a sudden.
Yeah, you're just suddenly all the cynicism that went into your early videos washes away. That's why you only upload twice a year now.
Yes, and I'm just too obsessed with trains now. Oh, is that the DC-45? Running on time, I see.
Would you tie a woman to the tracks? Do you reckon that? Do they ever do that? Is that a real thing someone did?
I would presume so. I would presume that's a pretty good way of taking someone out.
That has to be one of the most horrible way. Like, you're going to be mincemeat 100% chance. There's no way you're getting out of that.
Throw that one up, Jamie. Does anyone ever get tied to the railroad track? When did they start using the guillotine? That was around the 1700s, wasn't it? And that's like the same time that the train was around. Why didn't they just use the train?
Well, a bit messier to clean up, I think. You can't just have a train running around covered in gore all the time.
Yeah, true.
You know what's crazy about the guillotine is the last, government-issued guillotining in France happened when the first Star Wars movie was in theaters.
Yeah, I was going to say it's like the 1970s or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like way...
September 10th, 1977, after the adoption, the device remains France. Wow, the guillotine. And then May 25th of the same year, Memorial Day weekend opens with Intergalactic Bang of George Lucas's Star Wars. Wow. 77. I love 77. Those is the year I was born.
Later than you'd think.
Yeah. Do you reckon it hurts?
I actually think about that more often than I should, because they say that your brain activity still kicks around for a good 30 seconds afterwards.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Do you reckon you're just like, fuck, wow, this sucks?
Well, you'd land in the basket and then you'd be all nauseous, right? Because you'd be you'd spin and then land upside down. And you'd be like, my face is right up against this wicker. This is terrible.
Yeah, this just sucks.
Then you might be a bit bored for a little while, just waiting to die.
I hate thinking about this. This is stressing me out like it's something I have to do later.
Okay, what would be the worst part about getting guillotined? Because I suppose the blade is quick, at least. There would be a moment just before you put your head in it that you get really close to the guillotine and you kind of have this thought that's like, oh, this is really dangerous.
I shouldn't
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you get too close to a bandsaw or...
Yeah, you get a tingle in your hand.
Yeah. Oh, I've got it. Right. So what you do is underneath you want to have a bit of a lever, like a seesaw, and then you have the basket there. So the moment it cuts through, your head falls off, it launches your head straight into the air, and then it's kind of like, whoa, I get to see the whole crowd.
That'd be the worst if it only cut through halfway.
Yeah, or it gets stuck, and then they try to
pull it up again.
And then that's pulling your neck as well.
And they just kind of they just stand above it and just kick the back of your head.
Oh my God.
We're going to need a couple fellas just to jump up and down on the blade, please. Oh, here's the problem. You tied a bloody knot in the rope. It's caught against it's caught against the wooden beam.
This is very morbid.
Sorry, I'm just thinking about other ways to do the guillotine. Because you could have them at the very top.
You drop them onto the...
Yeah. Or you have an enormous spring underneath the blade, so everyone has to kind of pull, and then it goes off.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like you're loading. This feels like if as seen on TV, infomercials invented a guillotine. Aren't you sick and tired of that normal guillotine? And they invent this weird double-sided guillotine that can cut.
It slices, it dices, and only 3 payments of $39.95 plus postage. And the old person tries to drop the blade, but then they just kind of fall over, and then they're
Yeah, they try and pull on the rope, and then they just immediately go and turn to the camera, holding their wrist. What about one that's like a fan, and it's
oh yeah, so you just keep sliding people through it.
Like a conveyor, and have them turned into little slices.
Oh yeah, that would be quite nice. Yeah, we're essentially describing a deli slicer, but yeah.
Electric chair, that sounds pretty bad, but I feel like it'd be pretty quick.
Okay, so how do we improve the electric chair? I'm thinking what you do is instead of one big shock, just thousands of little shocks.
They just randomly occur all over your body.
Yeah, it's like you're constantly licking a 9-volt battery.
Yeah.
What if they just tape the battery to your tongue and then walk away and go...
It does 1 damage at a time, but eventually... Well, that's just death by 1,000 cuts, but it's death by 1,000 small shocks.
Oh, fuck.
I wonder if you did just cover someone in wet 9-volt batteries, whether you would die from starvation or, electrical current.
I think eventually... your muscles must just give out.
But it's the muscles, it'll be your heart or brain that gives up.
Yeah, your heart would give out. Yeah, that would be it. Yeah. You'd just get overexerted.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. What if electrical chair, but there's a phone to play Family Guy on it while you die?
What if like, oh shit, I just lost it.
Did the Family Guy phone flashbanged you?
Throwing flashbang.
It just wiped your brain like a Men in Black clicker.
Yeah.
Imagine a Men in Black if instead you didn't see anything and they held up Family Guy funny moments compilation.
The hell is that? Oyster? Oh.
One of those things that I got interested in for quite a while was oysters.
Oysters?
Yeah.
Oysters?
Yeah, I just thought they were really interesting.
You went on oysters.com?
I don't know what that is. It won't be good though. And I went to this oyster tour in Tasmania, and they were just telling about all these like really interesting things about oysters. So yeah, we used to have these piles and piles of shells. We would burn them and turn them into lime. Oh, really? Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, so anyway, most oysters are about 7 years old, and here's how they mate.
Let me get some of that oyster-see. Yeah. I think it's a clam, not an oyster, but there's a picture where like they put a bunch of salt in front of a clam and its big gross tongue like flops out and licks up all the salt.
Ooh.
Have you seen that?
No.
Let me find that. It is interesting.
Pull that one up, Jamie. It's doing it.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
I just want to fucking slam my fist down on it when its tongue's out.
Do you reckon it pulls its tongue out and goes, ooh, salty?
That's not real. Come on, that's not real. That gotta be Photoshop.
Up all the salt.
Ooh.
Have you seen that?
No.
Let me find that. It is interesting.
Pull that one up, Jamie. It's doing it.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
I just want to fucking slam my fist down on it when its tongue's out.
Do you reckon it pulls its tongue out and goes, ooh, salty?
Yeah, well, that's because if it hated salt, but then like it also has to use its tongue as its like primary means of transportation, so it has to like put its tongue in the salt to get away from the salt. It's kind of like a saw trap almost.
Yes. Why hasn't anyone done saw but for animals? Yes. You're always poking your tongue out at people. Well, now there's salt around and stuff.
What if there was a Saw movie where he just did it to like innocuous animals? No one gave a shit about like clams and like deep sea anglerfish.
You're always just swimming around in the dark. Now you're sellotaped to a 800-watt light bulb. He's having like a mussel and clam stew, but he throws them all in a pot and then turns the water on to boil. And he goes, here I have set up a trap. You must escape before the water boils. But he always intended just to have a stew.
Yeah, exactly. He just watches as they boil because they're fucking like clams. They can't do anything.
Now comes the warm butter.
If you do not escape in 10 seconds, you'll be enveloped in fresh cream, which will permeate into your lungs and tongue, rendering you unable to move. What's an animal you'd like to see in a saw trap?
Sometimes I see those birds that are like, they're usually water birds, and they've got these very long, slender legs. I just think, God, that would be satisfying just to walk over and be like, snap that.
Jesus.
You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't actually want to hurt it, but
like a breadstick.
Yeah, it's kind of, I'm not going to, but it's kind of like, you know, when your mate is showing off a brand new pencil.
Oh, yeah, and you just...
And he's like, I love this thing. I've sharpened it perfectly. And you just want to reach over and snap it. In my head, all this stuff is absolutely hilarious. In real life, one time there was this mouse that got caught in a mouse trap at our place, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish him, so I had to let him go free in the park.
Yeah, I couldn't bring myself to do that either. I feel like my problem with Saw is, or just any horror movie really, which is another hobby a lot of people seem to love that I just don't understand. People never deserve it.
No.
Which I guess is kind of the point, but when it's like, oh, just some teacher who didn't like appreciate their family enough or something, it's like, this person doesn't deserve to have their like face cut in half.
Yeah, no. That's a sort of lesson that you would learn over the course of a lifetime, to like appreciate your family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that one's gonna work itself out.
You've just given them PTSD. You haven't solved anything.
Dungeons and Dragons
One time, I Dungeoned and Dragoned.
Okay, interesting. When was this?
I was invited to do some...
One time, I Dungeoned and Dragoned. I never heard that one before. That was a good one. I did a long time ago. A friend of mine, got this one role-playing game called Ravenloft. I think it was called Ravenloft. And that was pretty cool. It was like all about vampires and a bunch of other crazy shit. It was pretty cool.
Some D&D stuff back in my university days. I showed up on a Saturday. It was about 1 in the afternoon, and we were there until about 7 o'clock, and we had to call it quits at 7 o'clock because the host's mum was coming home then. In that 6 hours, I think we managed to play for about an hour, and then the other 3 hours was spent setting up the game and the other 2 arguing about the rules.
So you had the authentic experience, is what you're saying?
I am amazed that anyone gets to do more than about 15 minutes of gaming per 4-hour session. You got any D&D story? You ever kill a man?
I remember one time I went to a card store to buy some cards, and they were having like their weekly D&D night where like a whole bunch of different tables were all set up for people to play D&D.
Yeah.
And there's a guy sitting at one of them who had head to toe full Deadpool merch on.
Oh.
He had a Deadpool hat. He had a Deadpool jumper on. The jeans, I believe, probably just regular jeans, but they were black to fit with the color scheme. Yeah. And then he had red and black sneakers, which I don't know if they were Deadpool branded, but they were definitely, continuing the color scheme.
You know what? Maybe it was like a bad coincidence. Like maybe these are all the things he doesn't usually wear. Because, okay, this happened to me once, right? Somehow, when I was like 11, I think my mum had bought me a camouflage shirt and camouflage shorts. And so, like my dad, right, he kind of wanted me to be a bit of a snob for some reason when I was a kid, right?
Yeah.
So he used to take me to the driving range all the time. And I remember looking in my closet and going, I don't have anything except this camouflage shirt and these camouflage shorts that I never wear. And so I just had to wear both of those. And so I looked like I was going to the military at age 11. And I remember distinctly, like, we were waiting to go in. And there's these 2 absolute strangers who walk by in the other direction and they salute. And I just died. That's probably what happened to this dude. I think I would like to retire to a small town in Tasmania called Launceston.
Okay.
And one of the reasons is I was there and I was walking around downtown and, oh, neat. Looks like a Warhammer store. So I went in and I bought a book, which I never read. And then I went back out and then I walked 2 stores down and then all of a sudden another comic book store.
Okay.
Hey, that's brilliant. There's like 2 of these in a very small town. And then I walked around the corner of the block and there was like one of those war games stores right there. It was all within like 100-yard radius. It was brilliant.
I'd love to find like a real nerdy town that you just like, yeah, we're really nerdy, so what?
Yeah, we don't reproduce.
We just make a commune in the highlands of Tasmania and we just ship in Warhammer and D&D.
Absolutely. And then we set up like a cross between an internet cafe and a deli, but we only let our friends in and then everybody gets free deli meats, right? And then eventually one of us becomes the mayor. I actually Googled once the current mayor of Launceston and I thought, you know what, I could at least take this guy in a fight.
Yeah,
easy.
Which is how they settle the mayorship in Tasmania.
Yeah, that's right. You stand in the middle of the triangle that intersects the 3 war game stores.
Yeah, and you have the ultimate war game.
YuGiOh.
I've never fucking understood YuGiOh. Because half my friends play it, but like you look at one of those cards and it is just a novel, man. It is like...
I have only ever seen the show, and that thing does not seem to have any rules at all.
Yeah, those motherfuckers just making shit up on the fly.
You can't use 2 beast cards on one deck without sacrificing at least a spirit card. And you, what? Who? Where did that happen? And then YuGiOh immediately does it anyway without sacrificing the spirit card. And then he looks like he's, oh no, Yugi, you've lost all your life points. But then he's like, hold on a minute, I've got the heart of the cards. What does that mean? And then all of a sudden his poor life points come back.
He just pulls out a gun.
Did you ever watch YuGiOh?
I did. I was obsessed with it as a kid. But you're right, it has such little bearing on the actual game. I like to imagine the card designers just saw every episode come out and they're just like, fuck. fuck, how are we going to keep up with, like, because obviously kids are going to buy the decks being like, I want to do Yuki's cool move.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, please.
I remember as a kid looking up the cards and the descriptions are completely different to the show and being really disappointed. I also think some kids stole my cards. I'm not sure.
I know who it was. It was that goddamn Kaiba.
That goddamn Kaiba came to rural New Zealand and stole my deck that was probably worth $20 maximum.
He held your grandfather to ransom, and he wanted your Dark Wizard card. I think Yugi has the... I don't know if his name is YuGiOh or Yugi.
His name's Yugi, and then when he turns into the version of him that's trapped in the Millennium Puzzle, he's Yummy Yugi.
I forgot about that, the Millennium Puzzle.
Yeah.
And don't forget the Millennium Eye, Yug.
And that's right, he can like see under Yugi's clothes with it or something.
His facial expression would just change when he goes between the two. He had the most bizarre hair of any anime character I've ever seen. It was like, what is even happening?
Yeah,
with that? It's like 3 different colors, and it's almost a pyramid.
At least like most anime characters here, it's like stupid, but you're like, okay, theoretically with enough hair gel, you could make that happen. Like Cloud's hair or something.
Yeah.
Like there's just a blonde guy with spiky like shaped hair, and then Joey's just from Brooklyn for some reason, even though it's like set in Japan.
Wasn't this in a video?
Yeah, I also did a video.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which you can click on the top right.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't click on that.
Don't click on that.
All right, listen up, mini cooters. I've got your granddad. I'm going to expose him to my gamma radiation card.
I'm going to play a mountain and tap it and cast lightning bolt on your
Are you turning Egyptian right now?
You've already done this joke before. Don't make me do blackface.
You're just in denial, mini kudos.
Man, you need to start finding someone else to do these.
All right, thanks for being on. I'll catch you later.
Oh, we'll see you at, we got D&D tonight, and then you said you're coming around for Magic tomorrow.
My mum's coming home soon. I gotta go.
We've got YuGiOh the day after that, and then we're going to be watching Game of Thrones the day after that. Warhammer, I think, is booked in on Sunday.
So I've got some terrible news.
Oh.
This is historian.
Oh.
Internet historian's wife.
Oh, okay.
He has died. He won't be able to make any of those appointments. Don't contact this number again. Goodbye.
At your door looking at you, though.
Goodbye. Please respect our privacy.
We've been talking face to face.
This time of bereavement.
I'm looking at you.
Do not forget World of Tanks.
Good luck.
You probably know Vistaprint
in
for
that
business
story,
cards,
you
but
go
did you
get
know
that
we also print
sponsorship.
that?
You get that sponsorship. That was a cute little video. That was really funny. I like incognito mode. They come up with some really funny stuff. And I like many kudos. Many kudos. And, I forget his name right now. All 3 of them are pretty good when he has all 3 of those guys. Ordinary Things or Regular Things, I guess that's what the other guy's name was. He was the when they did the Gentleman Pirate. Anyway, hobbies. One of them they said mountain climbing. I don't think mountain climbing would be definitely a hobby that I would ever want to do. I used to collect comic books as a hobby. That was as far as a hobby as I could remember. I used to draw. That was a hobby, I guess. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you guys do for a hobby and what you thought of this episode. I really enjoyed this episode. I thought they were pretty funny. Of course, the animation they do with the photoshopping is ridiculous. It's awesome. Please teach me the ways in a historian how you do that. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoy this. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. And bye.